What are the Philadelphia Phillies doing? I am at a point where I am incredibly annoyed at the way that Dave Dombrowski has approached this free agency period. This has been an embarrassment. This has been brutal. This has just been ridiculous, right? What are they doing over there? I really don't understand what in the world we're supposed to be expecting from Dave Dombrowski to do at this point because he's done nothing, right? Outside Jordan Romano, nothing has been done. Like, this is a good team. We all understand that. This is a really good team. But it's not enough. And it hasn't been for the last 3 years. We saw what happened in the World Series. We saw the NLCS. We saw the second round exit with the NLDS this year to the Mets. What are we supposed to do with this? I mean, this is just, it's so annoying because the team has the potential to win. Like, it's there. The roster is great, but it still needs improvement. It needs something else. There needs to be a switch up. And we were promised that there would be some type of shakeup for this team. And this is a team that does not need starting pitching, right? I mean, maybe they can go out and get it. I was hoping they would get Crochet to replace Taiwan Walker, but they didn't get it, and the price was ridiculously high. There's nothing wrong with that. But the bullpen stinks. The bullpen is horrible. Outside of these three right here, this bullpen stinks. This is awful. The lineup, we need to address the outfield. Outside of Castellanos, the outfield is horrible. Like, what are they doing? Now, this is their payroll going into next year as it currently stands, right? They have some move to make. No one's expecting them to go get a $30 million player. No one's expecting them to go do any of this, but they have money. They can make some moves. So when we come look at, what they can do, maybe a Teoscar Hernandez might be too expensive. Okay, get that, understandable, but they still need like a guy like Ryan Presley. Go bring back Jeff Hoffman. Maybe you look at Jack Flaherty, maybe a Sean Manaea, but go do something that's going to help this team, right? I really want them to go address the lineup. I mean, the lineup is just, there needs to be a change. More importantly, the outfield. I guess I really shouldn't say the lineup. It's more the outfield. The outfield, it stinks. So, what are they going to do about it? Maybe the free agency market isn't where they go. These are some of the available free agents, but they need to go do something. They can't just sit on their hands while everyone else gets better. The Mets are getting better. The Braves are a great team who's going to basically reload in the next year. All right? So we need to see the Phillies go out and do something. Now, whether that is through free agency, whether that is through trading, they need to do something. My three things I want to address: left field, center field, bullpen. That's what I want to address, right? I think that, we can bet on the top 4 or 5 guys in this lineup being good, right? Bryson Stott, we don't know. Reports came out last week that he was injured throughout the season dealing with a messed up elbow, but who knows? He had a great year 2 years ago, but I just feel like it's, we don't know. He's a question mark, right? He's been in the MLB for 3 years at this point. Doesn't really do well with fastballs still as 3 years, but he's a mature hitter, so we can believe in Bryson Stott bouncing back. At least I can. Alec Bohm. They're trying to shop Alec Bohm. I know Rob Thompson came out and said, we're not shopping him. Teams are just interested, so we have to field those requests, but they're shopping Alec Bohm. They do not want Alec Bohm on the team. And I vividly remember A.J. Przinsky saying something on his Foul Territory show that the Phillies do not like the way that he acts, his tantrums, the way he acts when something doesn't go his way. He's very immature. And that's some stuff that A.J. Przinsky heard when they were there for the Phillies Mets series, and I agree. It's ridiculous, right? He's 28 years old, and he's acting like he's a 21-year-old who just got called up. When something doesn't go his way, he freaks out. Now, can I play a little devil's advocate and say that shows that he cares? Absolutely, and I love that he cares. But there's different ways to go about it. Go back, go to your next at bat, assess what was wrong, and then just get better from that point on. That's it. We don't need to slamming the bat every time someone strikes out or slams the helmet. We don't need any of that. That's not what this team needs. And, that's rich coming from a team that has Bryce Harper, right? We've seen Bryce Harper do that, but as he's gotten older, he's cut back on that a little bit. So we need to see some maturity from Alec Bohm if he's going to stay on the team. I personally don't mind if he stays on the team. I think he helps them win. I think he makes them a better team if he's on there. I think he's a great four-hole behind Bryce Harper when he's on, but he's very inconsistent too, right? He was unbelievable in the first half, but the second half was really, really bad. right? And we saw him. It got to a point where he got benched in the playoffs. So I think that relationship is soured, right? They had the weird arbitration going into last season. So who knows what they're going to do with Alec Boehm? That's one piece that they need to address. But the outfield is just brutal. I mean, I'm trying to think of ways they can go out and improve it that isn't too cost expensive. But Teoscar Hernandez is a guy that's gonna cost you some money, right? I mean, we have to look at. Let's just go take a look at some left field options, right? Because Nick is going to be in right. You got a guy like Teoscar, Tommy Pham maybe. I would be intrigued by a Jerkson Profar signing, but he hasn't succeeded anywhere outside of San Diego. And another guy, Austin Hayes, who could be cheap, but maybe that relationship got a little bit sour. He was dealing with a lot last year. He was on the Phillies, but he had a liver infection, I believe it was, and that played a really big role in why he wasn't great. He's a former All Star. There is some baseball left in him that is good, I believe, but the left field options are not great. And let's go take a look at center field. I mean, let's do outfield in general. I mean, Santander is going to cost way too much, and you're paying way too much for a guy who's just a DH for a team that already has two dudes that are DHs and Castellanos and Schwarber, but one plays the outfield. But this isn't great. But this is where Dave Dombrowski needs to get creative, right? This is what he gets paid the big bucks for. And, he hasn't shown that aggressive Dave Dombrowski since, I believe, 2022. This is the guy who came over with the reputation of he will blow up the farm and he will do this, that, and the other to go maximize windows, but he hasn't done that so far. And, I don't mind that he hasn't done that for some players. Like, I don't mind that he didn't do it for Crochet. But Kyle Tucker, that he should have emptied the farm for. The report was he went out and he offered Bohm and Castellanos for Tucker. Come on. No team's accepting that. There needs to be more. They can't be the headliners, right? There needs to be a prospect attached to that, and it didn't seem like they wanted to go out and do that. And that's what he wants to do. But we come over here and look at relief pitching, another spot they need to address. I would like to see potentially a Ryan Presley trade. That is one of the trades I want to see them go out and do. I mean, he's going to cost a little bit of money, but this is a dude who is a playoff killer. I mean, he's been there. He's done that. He's one of the best postseason pitchers ever from the bullpen standpoint. A little bit older and expensive, but he's one of the guys I wanted to go trade for. But my number one option is Tanner Scott. This is a dude they have to get. If they get Tanner Scott, I will shut up and issue an apology. Tanner Scott, they need to go get. And pair him up with a guy like Kyle Finnegan, who should be cheap. He's getting some interest, but should be cheap. That is a two-man addition that I would love to see. And hopefully Jeff Hoffman, right? If you bring those three guys, you got yourselves a super bullpen. Maybe a guy like Kirby Yates. Other than that, it's probably the three, I would say, or the four with the Presley trade that I would say that this team needs to go out and get. But overall, this team just needs to go out and do something, and especially the bullpen and the outfield. Those are the two weaknesses, and hopefully I can make a video later down the line saying Dave Dombrowski did it, John Middleton did it, they put together a great team, and the Phillies won a World Series. But I'm very, very cautious of my expectations with this team because the NL is getting so much better, and the Phillies are just thinking about running back. So with that being said, that's going to be it for me. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Phillies.